All right, let's see. Broadcast, good. Microphone, good. Race up and good. Oh, wait, that's missing. Hang on. Where is it? Aha, got it. Road America, welcome in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, as we get ready to rock and roll. And sometimes what changes just ends up staying the same. Wednesday night, Great Lakes Sim Racing on the Captain Esports Network. Things don't last forever, as they say in life, right? As we come back, it is 1 week, but hey, we're here to rock and roll tonight. Road America, it's playoff race number 2 for the Great Lakes Sim Racing Downrange Transport Premier Series here on the Captain Esports Network. We welcome you in on this Wednesday evening on a 4-mile track that is going to separate the men from the boys here in Road America. We're just a couple minutes away from qualifying kicking off here. Got a pretty good sized field and a pretty good battle right now when it comes to the playoffs. And an upset winner kicking off the playoffs last week, Talladega, as Josh Gagnon went to victory lane, getting his first series win in both the trucks or the National Series here, the Premier Series, if you will, as we enter round number 2 of the playoffs. Can we go 2 for 2 with a non-playoff driver winning it? We'll have to see, but this is your playoff grid as of right now. Justin Bonner leading the points by 1 over Cam Ingram, who has had a fantastic season here, scoring 9 top 10s and 11 starts. So hoping to keep that streak alive. Alex Cummings, Alex Bryson, Diego Sainz, who's pretty fast here tonight, your top 5. Miles Fontaine, Dalton, Ladasur, and Alphin. The traditional points format is in front of you, basically. 3 races, we eliminate down to 4. Those 4 go for the championship at, of course, of course, I lost it in my head. Usually it's Chicago, but there's one thing that's changed. I believe it's Homestead on the schedule here this season. I'm still trying to get some things down here. But we have had a lot of fantastic racing, a lot of different winners here as we kind of recap here with you what has happened this season when it comes to racing. It's season 1, I believe, of the Downrange Transport Premier Series. It all kicked off back in May, where Stephen Miles went to victory lane at Daytona. Of course, Alphin could never win when I broadcasted, but he goes and wins 2 races here at Vegas and Nashville back-to-back. Then Luke Knupp won the Bristol Dirt Race, and then Fontaine woke back up, won at 5 Flags in the old Beach Ball Derby. Then you had the Daytona Road Course. Bondo won that, so that's going to be a key here when it comes to the road course racing this evening, with Bondo winning that. Diego Sainz getting his first win at Atlanta. Fontaine at North Wilkesboro, and then it was the Stephen Miles show at the Brickyard and at Michigan. And then, of course, Gagnon getting that win last week in the Dega Dash 162. So tonight, the Road America Grand Prix going to be a little different. Going to see some racing time style, kind of like the old like road racing GT3 cars, stuff like that, except with the B car here this evening. So qualifying is underway, and something I've started to do in the last couple of broadcasts, and it's something I'm going to do here tonight, is we're going to go on track here for a quick second. We're going to jump in our captain car at that has actually failed tech, believe it or not, here. So let me just go throw a random road setup in the car, because these guys use a custom setup. So you're going to notice some things on my screen here that are not cooperating here. I'm going to get this pattern down eventually, and we'll be good to go. But the reason why I want to do this, I want to show you what I feel could be a big thing tonight, and that's going to be pit stops. I know I've kind of ran this one into the ground a little bit when it comes to pit stops, but tonight in particular, where the pole sitter might not so much be the advantage. And here's why. Look right here where I'm sitting on pit road. This is the pit stall for the pole sitter. So look over to the left. That is the exit of pit road. There are two factors that come into play here. So normally the pole sitter gets a good launch and is not shifting. There we go. Into gear and is able to go straight off pit road. Now, at Road America, that's not the case here. So let's spin the car around here real quickly, or try to. Some things just don't cooperate with me. So look at this pit road. So obviously got a very long entrance uphill, and then you get to, I think it's 45 miles an hour all the way down to this area. So it almost becomes a disadvantage to be in that first pit stop because of the way it comes off pit road. Second, third, fourth could have the advantage coming off pit road. So as we simulate a quick little pit stop here, I'm going to spin the thing back around. Here we go. Don't worry about the doctor or the bill there for the car. So we're going to come off pit road here, and look what you got to do. You have to merge right up into traffic here. There's no, you cross the blue line and you're going to turn one here. So a big factor tonight could be cars merging over into this portion of the track. So I think this is going to play a big key, and I can almost predict to you right now that there will be an incident right here in turn one from cars coming off of pit road. I could be wrong, but I may be right. So something I've started doing is showing the factors, Scala's World, you can call it that if you want to, of pit road here at Road America. Cars are on track. Sam Fontaine going to be one of the first cars to get across the start-finish line. Fontaine, a pretty good road course driver. I think back to the Roval race where he held off, I forget the gentleman's name, that came in there and was pretty much whooping the field. And somehow he got to the back of Fontaine, and Fontaine said, no, you're going to do this the hard way, buddy. So up the section here that heads down to turn 5, a downhill left-hander. Now let me know how the car audio is, because I want to make sure it's loud enough with these cameras. Fontaine, of course, won the last season of the Truck Series that was here in the Great Lakes Sim Racing, and then of course it became the Premier Series with the B car, and here we go ever since. So 10 minutes of qualifying here, laps at about 2 minutes and 15 or so. We'll have to see and keep an eye on who's on track and who's on first and so on and so forth. As you see Fontaine kind of drift up a little bit wide here in that KJD2 car. Got to be very patient through the carousel as they come up to the kink and into Canada corner. Right here's the kink. You can go wide open in an open wheel car, but this is no open wheel car. Cars will start to cross the line here shortly. As I mentioned, it's a 4-mile track. It's like 4.080, I believe, or something like that. As I believe Brandon Alphin or the 2 of Jason Dalton going to be one of the first 2 to cross the line here. There's Alphin. Alphin, the best under 500 iRating road racer in iRacing. I can go ahead and put that out there, I think, right? 2:14.98. That's a pretty good lap there to start with. Of course, I would be crazy if I didn't bring up the infamous moment at the Red Bull Ring a couple seasons ago where Brandon Alphin tried something Ferrari-like and lost a race. But Alphin right now on the pole. Fontaine, Bryson, and Drift. Your top 4. Let's see who else is going to cross the line. Here's Cam Ingram. This guy Had all types of issues his first couple seasons, but has broke out this season. Got himself in the playoffs, got himself a pretty good lap here as he crosses the line. A Texas native with a P4, 2:15.88, good lap. Sean Peachin was purple there for a second. The 69 car, let's see as he crosses the line. Up the longest straightaway in all of racing, P1, 2:14.42, as Sainz goes P2. I think those two could be battling for the win here when it's over with. Let's check out the points leader, Justin Bondurant in the 11 car. Bondo just getting down to turn 2 right here. Another right-hander. Fontaine, purple twice. Is his second lap going to be the big one? Runs through the carousel here. Appreciate everybody joining us here for qualifying for the Road America Grand Prix. Wednesday night broadcasting here for you on the Captain Esports Network. A one-week thing. Needed a little help with the broadcast for the week as the main broadcasters, unfortunately, to be here couldn't be here tonight. So I was like, yeah, I could do a race. Why not? Have some fun with it. Joey Ladasor, P7. Dalton, P8. Drift, P9. Fontaine's got all different types of colors, like he's eating sweet tarts or something on his qualifying run here. Purple, green, yellow, purple, yellow, which means this should be green, maybe? Do the rhythm right. Up the hill, Fontaine, lap number 2. Gonna be the same. Not gonna get any quicker, unfortunately. Ben Pierce crossing the line. And he has the 94 car, P8, 2:17.58. Bondo coming through the back straightaway here up to Canada corner. Ooh, little lock up there. Do you see that left front sliding? Ending off camber, turn 13 right here. This is a blind corner. You got to be very careful how wide you can get there. And then turn 14, kind of a late apex right here. As I mentioned, the new longest straightaway in all of racing. Well, it used to be for the Cup Series, but I think now it's the Circuit of the Americas straightaway. As Bondurant goes P7, Midkiff P12. Who we got left here? Stephen Miles, last week's winner Gagnon to complete a lap. Matt Teller's on track. Alex Cummings. Tyler Brewer said, I got better things to do than try to qualify this car. Miles with the Ric Flair Dripmobile. Woo! Trying to think of infamous wrestlers from Wisconsin. Wasn't Mr. Anderson or Mr. Kennedy, whatever his name was? He was in 2 different series. Wasn't he from Green Bay, Wisconsin? When he did his, like, microphone thingy. Diego Sainz, who I think out of everybody was actually really happy to see me here. He come in like all, I hate to say this, he was kind of like all rah-rah. he kind of fanboyed me a little bit, I think. I was like, awkward. Oh, you would have got a knife edge chop from him, probably. As Miles crosses the line, P8, 2:16.14. So all but 4 cars have qualified. Matt Teller's on like his 15th attempt to qualify. And it looks like Sean Peachin going to be on the pole here tonight. So congratulations to Sean. The Indiana native turned Vegas native. Turned wherever the hell he's living now, native. Going to score the pole. For for the Road America Grand Prix. Appreciate everybody joining us here this evening as we take a look at the lineup for tonight. Actually, that's the Race Info Scala. I said the lineup for tonight. There we go. As Peachin, Diego Sainz there in row number 1, row 2, Brandon Alphin, Sam Fontaine, Alex Bryson, Cam Ingram there, row number 3, row 4, and Bondurant and Stephen Miles. Joey Ladassour, Matt Telder there in row 5, row 6 is where you'll see Benjamin Pierce and Alex Cummings there in the 6th row as mentioned. Row 7, Jason Dalton, Drift there in the 14th position, Richard Midkiff and Josh Gagnon, last week's winner at Talladega. And in case you didn't know, and if you're somebody who knows Josh Gagnon, you have probably learned by now he won at Talladega and you didn't even have to watch the race. Cedric Ingram, Tyler Brewer there, road number 9, and row 10. Another version of Joey Ladassour. That's actually going to be a accidental Joey Ladassour. He won't be in the race. It'll be the other Joey in the race. It's actually a weird situation I learned about with his son and stuff like that. So, anyways, we get ready to go racing here. Cars are going to roll off, and this could be a little bit of a pace lap here, as we've learned watching the 2 seasons of Road America Cup racing. It takes about, about a year and 3 days to get this pace lap in here. So pace car is going to pull off, and very important, you want to save fuel here because, believe it or not, 4 miles on a pace lap can burn some fuel. And as I mentioned before, this pace lap, this isn't a 40 lap race or a 45 lap race. We have a 1 minute or 1 hour and 15 minute lap race. Wow, I can't talk. Time race. See what happens. I had a night off last night for streaming and I can't talk. Hey, Drift missed a start. That might be on purpose, I wonder. Talk to the boss man of the league here and also the pole sitter tonight, Sean Peachin, who, as I said earlier, one of the things that have stayed the same has also changed, or whatever that proper quote is, but one thing that has stayed the same, and you're going to hate me for saying it, Sean, is your win total is the same as it was the last time I talked to you.
Yeah, it's absolutely not gotten any better, that's for sure. In fact, this is the first time I think I've been on TV since the last time I talked to you on TV, so it's been a long time.
Well, you got the pole. Let's start there with the positives here, and great job on that. Obviously, what's going to be the keys here, because you got a very tricky turn 1, and I know you guys have run some races with time limits now instead of laps. So what have been the biggest differences you've noticed with that element coming into play?
Well, a lot of it kind of still stays the same, so we're obviously going to be, just trying to keep the car together, not burn up the tires, and try to maintain the pace. Obviously, the big thing with the road courses here is you always can do quick laps, but, keeping it together for the 75 minutes is going to be key. But outside of that, not any, severe differences, I wouldn't say. Maybe just a little bit longer in the car.
Glad you said 75. I had 85 listed. Correct myself now on that one.
Yeah.
Well, obviously a big moment here, but safe to say outside of an Indianapolis, these road courses are probably your biggest chances to get to victory lane.
Yeah, we've put a lot of work, obviously, into stock car road racing to get better. It's obviously crucial for, getting good points and kind of making up ground on the guys in front. So we put a lot of work into Road America. We're pretty good at Road America, as the Circa Sport Mustang proved in qualifying. So hopefully we can just hold it together and have a good race and close this one out for once.
I am a little worried. You got the Ferrari paint scheme on your suit and helmet.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to channel Schumacher. I got the right Ferrari driver if I'm going to channel anything, so hopefully. But yeah, luckily not much to really mess with in strategy, taking 4 tires and fuel every time, and we'll just go from there.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, best of luck. Congratulations on the pole award tonight, and maybe we'll talk in victory lane.
Yeah, hopefully. Good to have you back, man, and yeah, look forward to it. Talk soon.
Absolutely. You too, bud. As Sean Peachin, the boss man, so to say, and also the pole sitter tonight here And let's show the race information. Yeah, it's a lot bigger on the screen than it should be. Anyways, 75 degrees, 56% humidity, partly cloudy skies, a little bit of wind. Might blow a piece of paper around or something like that. 97-degree track temp here at Road America. A 75-minute race. An hour and 15 minutes. I have no clue what to expect here. It should be a lot of fun. Either way, good to be back here. Great Lakes Sim Racing back on the Captain Esports Network. As Sean Peach and Diego Sainz lead him to the green flag. Road America, 4 miles of action right now. And road course or not, cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Can everybody make it through turn 1 safely? Looks like so far so good as Drift leaves pit road. I think that is a purposely done move by Drift there. Fontaine gets out, or I'm sorry, Peachin gets out to a pretty good lead. On their way down to turn number 3, Bryson, Alfin, Bonder. Is he going to go 3 wide here? Somebody better decide something quick. Yeah, they both decided, and Bondo gets a 2-for-1, or buy one, get one. Oh, driving deep into 5. Got to be careful here. Wheel hop. Couple cars off. One went straight. Gagnon. I think he thought that you go straight to the front straightaway from there. Turn 8 down the straightaway here to get you ready for the carousel for the first time. Bryson, Ladasur, Matt Telder there, Cam Ingram right behind him. Thanks for the heads up, Sutphin. Yeah, probably am. Sometimes I turn my head away to my other screen. That's probably what's going on. I've been told notoriously I do that. Oh, Jason Dalton off track. Oh, over here. Oh, no, there goes Gagnon. Gagnon slaps the wall over there in the kink area, and Dalton goes spinning. Gagnon's going to go behind the wall quicker, and he won that race last week at Talladega. As Peachin going to lead lap 1. Got about a second on Diego Sainz. Sam Fontaine right there in 3rd, already up a spot. Bondo up 3 to start this race. Tyler Brewer up 5. I don't want road race. I hate that for you because there's like usually 2 a season. Just don't say Blanchemont because Clark might show up. So Gagnon takes this car to the garage. Congratulations to him. You finished last. Well, yeah. On board with the Mr. Radiator. Number 1 of Matt Telder here gets a little wide of the apex turn 5 there. Rumble strips here. Got to get back on. Blind turn 6. A quick little turn 8 section in the left-hander. Turn 9 leads you up to the carousel as mentioned before. Oh, Ben Pierce goes around. Oh, contact here, Midkiff, and who's the 5? Tyler Brewer in the 40. Little argy-bargy here. And Ben Pierce is got her turned around over here, got heavy left side damage, and he has pierced the wall. Sorry, Ben, I had to do the pun. All right, let's see real quickly what happened to Mr. Gagnon here. Let's go back to that. He treated that like an open wheel car, apparently, over there. I'm wondering if somebody placed a bet with him there. All right, let's see what happened to Pierce. Oh, he's already stuck here. Here we go. Pierce through the left-hander. Oh, he caught the grass there. Out of shape. About took out the Johnsonville brought sign, and then bam, pierces the wall, literally. And then Richard Midkiff, his incident with the 40. Midkiff in a KGD2 car. Oh, he hits the grass under braking and unfortunately slides up into Brewer there. Brewer had no clue he was there. All right, back live. I think everybody else is good now. See, Telder's got past Stephen Miles for 9th. Top 5 is all the same right now. Oh, no! Where have I seen that before? Bondurant and Fontaine get together, shades of the Red Bull Ring a couple seasons ago. A lot of cars had to avoid, but Fontaine, the champion a couple seasons ago. Oh, look at that damage on the left rear. He definitely got tagged. Let's see. How is did Bondo just get in deep here? This is definitely shades, though, of the Red Bull Ring a couple seasons ago. These two tangled for 3rd. They tangled for 3rd again. Bondo gets in there pretty late and then just slides the wheel up into Fontaine. Alphin's like, excuse me, pardon me. Bryson goes to the grass, and great job by everybody to avoid. Miles about clobbered Fontaine. That would have been a fun chat in the treehouse. Three laps in the books. Lap time's pretty close to each other right now already. Picha with a 16:05. Last time by, Signs about a half second faster. Let's go back here to the 5th position. A couple cars getting tied up here. The 38 of Alex Bryson, good to see him back on track as he's been in the playoffs here all season. Joey Ladassour just a little bit behind them as these guys battle 4th, 5th, and then there's a battle for 6th and 7th with Cam Ingram. As here they go, battle of red, black, and white cars. Down to turn 5, Cam with a little bit of a left front lockup. That should help Joey out, and it will. So 6th and 7th, these two guys going at it pretty good here. This track, I mean, a lot of speed in it, but also has its technical corners, and you got to be very careful with it. It's actually one of my favorites to race, and maybe that's because I actually know how to get around it, unlike other tracks. Either way, I'm slow. Cam going to make the run, passing the 23 this time by. Tire wear, a big deal here at Road America. And we've done 4 laps already in 15 minutes. Or I'm sorry, in 10 minutes. So obviously you do the math there correctly. 4 laps in 10 minutes. If you get about 12 laps, looks like maybe a 2-stop race here to the finish, if I do the math there correctly. Check back here on Alex Cummings, the body armor 63, the Supra there, followed up on Fontaine. Wonder how much that left rear damage is hurting Fontaine. You see that left front damage a little bit too. I'm sure Fontaine's car is not handling all the best. Yeah, I think Alex has caught himself on TV because he locks up the brakes. So I think Matt Telder's had a little trouble here in the last lap or two. Let's see what happened to Matt. I think he forgot to turn right at Canada Corner. Goes sliding off, those in reverse. He was definitely in really shallow. That's that corner there. I don't know what it is, but it especially when you get wide off of that turn 12 area there, Canada Corner can the back end definitely wants to swap ends on exit. There's 4th and 5th now. Bondo and Bryson as Alphin has pulled away to a 2-second lead on Brandon Alphin. Now, you kind of heard me make the comment about Brandon Alphin being the lowest road racing iRater, or it might be the best iRacing iRater with a low iRating. Brandon Alphin is a great example of why I kind of stand in the iRating is overrated category. As I think Tyler Brewer went off over here at Canada Corner. And the reason why I bring this up, I'm going to read you really quickly here. Let me see where I would do this. I don't remember where I do this. Okay, I know where I do it. I'm going to bring up over here on my screen really quickly Brandon Alphin's iRating. And when you hear this number, you're going to be like, wait, he's running 3rd? Brandon Alphin's iRating is 383. Not 3,000. 383. He is the lowest iRating person in this race. Period. So when you hear me argue sometimes with somebody or talk to somebody and I'm like, hey, you know, iRating's a little overrated to me. This is one of the examples of that. I'm not 100% in that card, but a little case in point right here. Bryson taking the carousel a little wide here. Maybe a little diamond approach. You see him come off low there. That trick does work in a corner like that. Double apex through the kink there as he chases down Bondurant right now. Let's go back here. Stephen Miles. Ric Flair, the Nature Miles, if you will. Going to have a real good run on Alex here, but he's going to catch him at a bad point here in the kink. Cummings goes a little wide again. This opens the door down the straightaway. Alex lets him go. For those just joining us tonight, appreciate you watching here in the Downrange Transport Premier Series on the Captain Esports Network. As we fill in for the night. Race number 2 of the playoffs underway. You'll see the P letters next to all the names. Those drivers in the playoffs. As Jason Dalton goes wide, and that is, I believe, Canada Corner. Why is everyone having issues with Canada Corner? Well, simple. It is one of the, if not the fastest corner on the track. As you're on the straightaway, you're up to about 100 and 70 or so miles an hour. As a matter of fact, let's go on board with Peach in here. You take the logos down over here real quickly for a second. I'm going to bring up our telemetry. And let's watch Peach in here. Second gear, down maybe to first here as he goes into turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn 9 here as he comes at the carousel. I'm thankful this name doesn't, other than the carousel, Canada corner, some of these corners don't have names to them, or else Telder would be having a field day with me. Very patient, third gear corner. Stays in third, and watch this. 120 miles an hour through that corner. $165 miles an hour down to all of 50. And he almost goes wide. You know how much he had to turn that car. So that's where you're seeing a lot of people having their issues in the Canada corner right there. As a matter of fact, I am seeing a whole lot of names all of a sudden going off track here. I mean, Dalton's had issues. Tyler Brewer's having issues. Where's Telder? Telder's having issues. Pronto, that would not only be that would there's one other very important part you're missing here, buddy. We would have 2 first-time winners from the same team. Now you got to get me pulling out the old history book here. I got to think about some things here, because for those who are joined us for the first time here, this is a series that for the first 8 seasons. The truck series we covered here on the Captain Esports Network, all the way from the introduction of the trucks to now. And then, of course, stepped away for, well, actually drove for a season and then stepped away. And then back we are now for this race. And so a lot of history has happened here on this channel with this league. Hence why you heard the intro music at the beginning of the broadcast, the old nostalgic intro. I think I have the video even somewhere if I didn't delete it. I don't think I did. Big shout out to Sammy B, by the way. Hope you're watching. Got a lot of big things coming in his future. So as we look at the lap times here from the last time by, look who the fastest car was. Brandon Alphin, third place, ran a 2:16.90. Peach in a 17.6 and 18.1 for Signs. The hardest part about road racing, though, is keeping that consistent. Now, knowing Brandon, he's probably got some Morgan Wallen playing in his background, which is keeping him relaxed in the car. AB is driven away from Bondurant there. It's Cam Ingram, or Cedric Ingram, the father of Cam. As wide goes Midkiff. He's having all kinds of issues trying to catch the Art Club number 19. Cedric Ingram, for those who don't know, an artiste. As Ben Pierce, by the way, I should mention, unscheduled pit stop for the 94, I believe, as he has taken his car behind the wall. You can actually give Cedric a follow on Twitter. Big Bubba Wallace fan. All right, so we're just about 20 minutes into the race here, so obviously, in order to make this a one-stop race, you would have to get all the way down to the, what, 37.5-minute mark. So let's just go ahead and eliminate that. Ain't happening. But how do you cut that down into thirds? Well, 85 minutes, you divide that by 3. 85, I'm doing a quick math in my head here. 25 would be 75, 30 would be 90, so 27 and a half-ish, somewhere in that range. So if you can get to about another 8 minutes or so, you can get down to what, about the 47-minute mark, 46, 47-minute mark, then obviously you got yourself a 3-stop race, or a 2-stop race here. Last time by, once again, Brandon Alphen fastest. Peachin maybe starting to fall off a little bit as Diego Sainz. I'm pretty sure Groundhog Day is going on because I'm on my highlights. It is literally becoming Telder off track, Brewer off track, Telder off track, Brewer off track. I don't know what's going on with them. Poor guys. Up the 4th gear down here to turn 1. Ooh, getting a little loose to Diego. Nothing wrong with that. Just can't get ahead of yourself as Brandon Alphen goes around Diego. Oh, look out. That HBR TV car looking pretty solid. P2 for the 21. The Kentucky native. Looking to put some cheese with that bourbon. Back here, Stephen Miles under attack. Lana Sordo is inside. Track time starting to go down a little bit there. Not sure if that's going to play a role in these drivers. Oh, Miles, a little lock up there, almost wheel hop. And Ladasor completes that pass, so nice job by Joey. Oh, Brandon putting 2 off now over here at the kink. I appreciate everybody watching here tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Go tell your friends. And if you're not new to the channel, appreciate you coming back and joining us on a Wednesday night. Got more great racing coming up here this week. Oh, here we go. Fontaine coming to pit road. This is at the 51-minute mark. Remember I talked about the very long pit road here. Ladasor, I think that is following him. So if you're Sam or if you're Joey, you want clear track to get off this pit road. Lock it up, 4 tires and fuel. Left sides will go on first. Should be a little bit slower of a stop only because, well, we're used to seeing the right sides go up first in these cars. 14.7, 14A, about the same. And you see how they got to kind of hang a left. And you got a couple cars coming up here. This is where I talked about this merge. And Sam does a good job staying in front of Cedric there. And Joey actually merges out in front of Midkiff, which that's teammates there. So, or, yeah. No, something like that. I'm still trying to get used to teams again. So Fontaine going to try to take care of this clean air as he's got a couple seconds up to Matt Telder. As Tyler Brewer comes to pit road, Jason Dalton on pit road. Those two have been on the old struggle bus. So another lap in the books. That is lap number 11. We'll watch Fontaine here, see what kind of outlap he can have. We jump over here to Peachin, who has led all the laps here so far. That's the one thing we've talked about a little bit that Peachin has done a good job of, is running in these road races. Now, of course, that win is fallen short. Unfortunately, I remember a season where he dominated the Indianapolis race, the oval race there, and unfortunately had some issues take him out of the chance to win as Cam Ingram goes off. This is over at turn 1. Cam going to fall back to the 6th position. As mid-kick comes to pit road in the 29. So fresh tires, Fontaine goes past Matt Telder. Now he's really got some clean track. He's got almost a straightaway distance, if you will, up to the 14. One of the biggest keys, and this is going to sound very almost underrated to say, if you will, is one of the biggest keys of road racing on iRacing is keeping it between the white lines. I know that sounds maybe cliche-ish a little bit, but if you can keep your car on the track and have a decent pace, just safe enough to stay on the asphalt, you're almost guaranteed a top 10 finish in any league, unless you have like that just went wide. That is Tyler Brewer, who's gone off for about the 13th time. Unless you got a road league that's like very competitive and a lot of great drivers, usually somebody staying off track, or staying on track, I should say, will get a top 10 finish. Case in point to that is this guy right here, the 14 Adrift, started on pit road. He's ran every lap and has kept it right on track. And look where he's at, P9. He's passed all these cars that have either gone off track or he's actually caught and passed. And it's because he's kept it between the two white lines. As Cam Ingram on pit road, one of the playoff drivers. Left side tires on. Right side's going on now. As Cam pulls away, Fontaine just went purple, which is road course terminology for fastest lap, for those who don't know. 2:15.15 just now, and he is a good 2, 3, 4, almost 6 seconds on some of the drivers faster on that lap. So Fontaine, I think, is going to try to use this undercut to catch the leaders here after that contact with Justin Bondurant. As that Circa Ford leads And the Mustang there's led all the laps here so far. And 4.1 seconds back, there's Brandon Alphin, P2. Brandon, 2 wins this season. Some might say a breakout for him, even though he won a championship back in, I believe, 6th or 7th season of the trucks. And Diego Sainz, who was it 2 seasons ago? I believe it's his first season in the league. Came into Discord a couple, was it last week or something? He came, I remember coming into a channel somewhere. I forget exactly what. And he comes, I didn't even know who it was. And he's like, hey, man, I'm excited to see you back. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, in my head, who is this? And I realized it was Diego. I'd never really ever talked to him. And he was definitely excited to see us here covering this race here. And well, he's trying to get it to victory lane, 7.4 seconds back. And you see Brandon Alphin has knocked it down to 3.7. It's about a second faster than Peach in that time by. So it makes you wonder if 1, Sean burned his tires up, or 2, did Alphin just save tires? But the thing about it is, we're past the 30-minute mark. So the window is open to make your first pit stop here. Alex Bryson there, 4th position, the Gradient Concepts Camaro. Justin Bonner in here, 5th position, the Monster Energy Supra. Remember when Bondo first got it going, had that Richmond race, finished 3rd, got his first top 5. And he was very notorious for his pit strategies at the beginning. I remember we'd have like a long run in a race, and Justin would bring it on pit road, and I'm like, all right, that's early. Hey, it's worked out. That man's won plenty of races now. Pardon me, I had to sneeze there. And has done his share. 3.8 seconds back. There's Stephen Miles. Oh, Fontaine is wrecked! Over in the kink. Playoff implications here is Fontaine. Tires look straight. Everything looks okay. Oh, he just went too hard into the kink, and unfortunately, bam, tail whips the wall. If any kind of damage, maybe heavy left rear from the initial contact. That's a rare mistake on a road course for Sam Fontaine. No, he hit side first. You hit head first. There's a difference. Now Sam's going to hold off Ladisor, but this is big for the points. Because you see a decent amount of playoff drivers running up there at the front right now. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Fontaine right now, the, 6th fastest or 6th best running playoff driver right now. And the 3 below him have had issues at one point or the other. One point, I have to go back, and there's a lot of notes that I don't have anymore because of the changing of the series and the ownerships and stuff, but I used to be able to go back on the website and look around and see like some numbers and things, but I had to think about this for a second. I believe that there was a season where Sam Fontaine won 4 straight road races or something like that, because he had won the Charlotte Road, as Brandon Alphen comes to pit road. I got to think this one through. I know he won Charlotte Road. He won't. No, Red Bull he had to contact. And then obviously a few other tracks in there too. As here comes Alphen. Alex Bryson going to come with him here, so make sure I get the team name right here, because it's not the old TI team that we are used to. Laser Racing. There goes Alphen, 4 tires fuel, 15.2. I would say watch for the undercut from Fontaine, but unfortunate deal happened there. So Brandon now has kind of planted the seed. I think if you're Signs, if you're Peachin, you might have to come right now. Unfortunately, this track is so big for Peachin that I think the lap time Brandon would gain could be enough to undercut Peachin after just one lap. Because you could almost, if you had a big enough lead, run a pace to where if you're hypothetically 15 seconds back and you gain 3 seconds, and you know you got 4 laps before you can come to pit road and kind of have that little bit of a buffer. But Peachin doesn't have it, unfortunately, here. Here comes Sean up through the kink up to Canada Corner. And we'll see if he comes to pit road. My guess is yes. And the other question is, how hard do you attack pit road? Because you hit that warm-up lane, you can go a pretty good distance before you got to get to that speed limit. So let's see what he does here as he goes through turn 14. He's going to hang a right, come up the hill. And those cones right there is where he's got to be at the speed limit here. So let's look for the 21. The 21 is at Canada Corner, top right of the map. Going through turn 13 now, going to come up on 14. And remember, Peachin was the pole sitter. Remember what we talked about here. Let's go on board and watch this pit stop. Brandon now out of turn 14, coming up the front straightaway. As there's Signs on pit road, overshoots its pit stall. As here comes Peachin. Here comes Alphen. Clean move. Alphen holds on. Or, I'm sorry, Peachin holds on. That's all, folks. But Alphen made up a lot of time at that one lap. Justin Bonner and Alex Cummings, only two have not come to pit road yet. As on that lap, Diego, as I mentioned, pit. Bryson. See who else? Stephen Miles came to pit road. And you saw Signs kind of overshoot his pit stall. He's going to lose a couple spots, I think, from this. Still got plenty of racing to go. Don't want to make that mistake. And I think Diego just had a big off track as Bryson got around him. Where'd this happen? Turn 5. Got wide. Got to be careful here not to make more mistakes to add on to your mistake, basically. It's a very easy factor to do. You get all mad at yourself because you did something wrong on track. What's the worst thing you can do? Well, react to it and then go do something else. And then act to it and go do something else. Kind of like when you wake up late for school or for work, right? You get up and you're freaking out Then all of a sudden you stub your toe on the bed leg because you're rushing. And as you're getting dressed, oops, you poured coffee on yourself. Now you've done 3 things, all because you were rushing. As Bondo comes to pit road, this should hand the lead back to those 2 right there. Peachin and Alphin go by. And Alphin just ran the fastest lap of the race, 2:15.01. Bondo should come out right near the 23 here. But he'll have the freshest tires, he and Alex Cummings there, of the bunch. So there we go. First round of pit stops are, well, all but... Oh, do we have somebody trying to make... okay, I was going to say here. Cedric locks it down right there at his marks. Good job on his part. I was about to say, is Ced going to try to go to the distance here? The 1.4 seconds now, the lead. Peachin over Alphin. And it's Alex Bryson now up to 3rd. Diego Sainz 4th. Sam Fontaine with that undercut there is 5th. But we'll have to keep an eye on his lap times here because he's going to be a little bit slower now. And might have to put up with a Stephen Miles coming up here very shortly. Stephen's about 2.1 seconds back. He's got Cam Ingram 4.5 back. I think anyone who pitted... Nah, well... You got me thinking here for a second. Alphin pitted at, see, we're at 17 coming to 18. He pitted at 15. That's 2 laps. I don't think anybody can make it on fuel. Well, then again, we had an 85 lap race, or 75 minute race. Halfway to 75 is 37 and a half. So that actually proved me wrong on the whole 2-stopper. I'll tell you what I'm thinking here. If Sean Peachin obviously is leading this race, I don't see that letter P next to his name other than the P in the word Peachin. So if I'm Sean, if you think you can make it on fuel, you're going for it. If you're Brandon Alphin, if you're Alex Bryson, if you're Diego Sainz, Fontaine, Miles, Ingram, all those guys in the playoffs, no. I'm not chancing it. The worst thing you can do on a 4-mile track is run out of gas, like right here on the track. Coming into turn 2 where you see Miles battling Fontaine here. If you see somebody run out of gas right there, you're not making it to the start-finish line, and then your 3rd place finish becomes a 14th place finish. So if I'm Brandon, if I'm Alex, if I'm Sainz, if I'm Fontaine, if I'm Miles, Ingram, any of those guys in the playoffs, I'm coming back to pit road a second time. And little contact there, I think. These two had a little history earlier this season, as I've learned. So let me throw this strategy at you. If you're Sean Peachin right now, and you've got a 1.6 second lead on Brandon Alphin, are you really racing Brandon Alphin for the win? Or are you racing Alex Bryson for the win? Or are you racing Diego Sainz? Because in that situation, now, Peachin pitted at 16, Brandon at 15, Bryson at 15, Diego Sainz at 16. If Brandon's going to go hard and try to make it to the finish and runs out of fuel, then you almost have room, if you're Peachin, to back off the throttle to Alex Bryson. It's all a chess game right now. 30 minutes to go this time by. We're at 19 laps. And you guys just got to do the math. We're at 30 minutes, like I said. You're completing lap 19. You went 16 on fuels, which means you get to lap 35. So you got to do the math then, all right? So, or I'm sorry, not 35. You'd get to 33 or so. 32 would be 13 laps. So you'd have to do 13, and you want to multiply or do the math with the 135 seconds. Oh, Fontaine, nice save. As Miles completes the pass, that was a tough one. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on, if you will. There's Bondurant. You are Strayer for not being here. Oh, Brian had a little off there at the kink, it looks like. See, this is where I get all whacked out and confused, because I'm not used to, unless I'm running a GT3 or a DP or something like that at Daytona or wherever, time racing for me is always confusing. So now you're putting me in a stock car race with time? So I have no clue how far they can go on fuel. I mean, I'd have to sit there and run like a practice myself or something just to kind of get the numbers right. But Bondo putting pressure here on Cam Ingram for the 7th spot. Miles almost went off a little bit in 13 there. Here comes Fontaine back to pit road. So here comes that two-stop strategy I just talked about. Fontaine going to short pit here. He's got the damage. I was about to show something else, but here he comes on the pit road, so let's follow this. So Fontaine comes in at 27 minutes to go. He's got the fuel to make it now. And he's bringing Ladasor with him. So yes, here is the part where I talked about you being in the playoffs. I don't think you can chance it. If you're somebody like Sean Peachin, if you're Drift or Telder, why not? See what you can do. But you had to have pit late enough. But another thing you got to remember, it's a 4-mile track. Again, there's so many elements. See who can win this downrange Transport Premier Series. Playoff race number 2 here from Road America. Here on the Captain Esports Network. And I haven't said anything. I said nothing of jinxing. And one thing I've always learned too, by the way, it's only a jinx if you believe it. Got me searching for something here real quickly. Yeah, that's what I'm for. So next week, Nashville Fairgrounds. Be the second time in Nashville this season. Of course, earlier this season, Brandon Alphen winning at the Super Speedway. So can Brandon go 2 for 2 in the country music area? And then Homestead Miami Speedway, August 30th to finish it out. Oh, who's that spun around? Looks like the 29 maybe of Midkiff. Let's watch Fontaine's lap here. 231 last time. He should cross the 249 with the pit stop. So yeah, obviously just getting off that pit lap there. As Alphen still 1.5 back. Let me look for some others. Yeah, everybody's pretty much spread out now. Jason Dalton coming to pit road in the 14th position right now in the 2 car. I about call him the 14 car for some reason. Good lap there from Peach in that time by. A little bit faster, about a half second or so. Bryson right there in 3rd. Diego Sainz in the 4th position there, holding on to a top 5. And now while we got pit stop stopped here for a second. This gives me an opportunity. Let's show you the point standings again for those who have just joined us entering tonight's race. There they are. So Bondurant, Cam Ingram, Alex Cummings, Alex Bryson. Your top 4 right now. And remember, 4 drivers get in, so you need a good points night, right? So let's look at Brandon Alphen, 10th position. And sits 64 points back. That guy right there has, you know what? Let me just change what I said. Brandon Alphen might be one that tries the one-stopper because of that number right there. That's 64. If he can do the one-stopper and pull out a win potentially in this race, this could put him right back in the running for a top 4 spot. Dalton, unfortunately, on the struggle bus. A lot of Soar struggling. Fontaine. Those down there at the bottom right now, 7th, 8th, 9th in points. Could fall down a little bit. But Fontaine right now just passed Drift for 9th, so we'll have to see how it all transpires. That's why we run the race. Track temp continuing to fall, 91 degrees now over on the right-hand side of the screen. And Sean all of a sudden has stretched it to 3 seconds. I'm starting to wonder now, as crew chief slash head first diver Josh Gagnon giving him the Gunther Steiner push option here. You know, this track, obviously, in this car, is almost a perfect model to save fuel. I mean, look at all the long straightaways you got here. A little Scott Dixon action, if you will. A little let off the throttle a little early and just let it coast in, hit your brake mark, save fuel. Now, a truck? No. Can't do it as much. Here in call it the Xfinity car, but the B car here, Definitely can happen. So Peachin, then Brandon Alphin, 2.4 seconds back. Now Brandon's starting to knock some time off. Alex Bryson, 19 seconds back, P3 there. Diego Sainz, P4 and a 44. Whole lot of fours involved there. Stephen Miles, P5. Ric Flair drip. Justin Bondurant, P6 there for the road racer from earlier this season. That won the other road race, I should say. Oh, holy cow. So I look up wrestlers from Wisconsin, since we got the Ric Flair car. Austin Aries, I forgot about him, from the state of Wisconsin. How about Hornswoggle, the little guy? Bill Kazmaier, he's a former World's Strongest Man. Female wrestler, Candice Michelle. Roderick Strong. There's a couple for you. Including the Beer City Bruiser, by the way. Here's a good one. Yeah, how did I know he was a big guy? 6'2", 323. Wrestled in ROH for a little bit. There you go. The history of wrestling in Wisconsin. Of course, this is not the only track in Wisconsin that this series is raced in. We got the Milwaukee Mile. It's a little bit down the road. And for those nostalgic GLSR guys, remember the history of that track. The infamous, hey, is there lights at this track race? Ricky Springer, former driver in this league, dominates the race. That ends up going into evening time, and there was no lights, and they had to stop the race, put up another session, finish out the last 40 laps, and Ricky doesn't make the race because his computer pretty much falls apart. I mean, that's like willpower Detroit-esque right there. Car won't start after leading a whole entire race in an IndyCar race. Holy Cody Beatty in the house, ladies and gentlemen. I was just actually recently thinking about Cody, and I was at a grocery store, and I saw Ding Dongs. And, of course, as often gets a little loose there, I think of Ding Dongs, I think of, what's his name? Whose name just slipped my head. And I thought about the old YouTube page of Cody's that had all the archived highlights of, what's his name, doing his NIS races. James, thank you. Ford. How is getting old sucks. Alex Cummings here in the 8th position. He could be one to watch here. 17 laps is when he last came to pit road. He and Bondo, those two, I think, could make it the rest of the way on fuel here. 16 laps to go, which is roughly about 7, maybe 6 laps. And we're at 25 right now, so fuel mileage is going to play a role here at the end of this race. Let's check on Fontaine, his two-stopper here. Fontaine obviously with the damage nowhere near as fast as he was. The one thing I am going to be proven wrong about tonight is we're not going to have a pit road incident like I thought we might have. And I hear Brandon Alphin had a little fight in Canada corner again. That opens up a little bit more room for Sean Peachin now. If Sean wants to back off the pace for a lap or so, he can back up to the front of Brandon Alphin's car. Oh, Cedric's painting in the grass. All right, so my timing thing has changed to 14 laps to go. Not sure why I did that. This is one of the rare times I've ever done a time race with my timing and scoring, so forgive me, as the lap number is going to change a lot here, I think. Let me see if I can fix that somehow. As Cam Ingram's going to come to pit road. Left side tires going on. Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to stay lap-wise, but 4 tires in fuel, and there goes Cam. As they say in life, if there's a will, there's a way. I don't know who Will is, but I found a way. So Cam Ingram going to be in the 10th position. Now is Dalton having more issues. So Cam definitely going with the conservative theory, where it's nothing wrong with that. But literally everybody, the only battle with less than 3 seconds to it is the battle for the lead. Bryson and Sainz drawing within 3.2. But this battle right here is your closest, as Alphin tries to chase. So, oh, Brandon loose on it. Oh, he's fighting. Hands and feet on the wheel, boy. That car's all kinds of loose. So according to my numbers here, should be 3 laps to go, maybe 4 at the line here. Can Peachin close it out? It's funny, Telder, Peachin, and I kind of made a funny joke to each other back when made the announcement that I was stepping out of the booth and going to race for a season. We kind of picked on each other and said, hey, you know, what if the captain won before you did, Peachin? Which obviously never happened. I don't think it ever came close to happening, as I remember. And it's kind of funny. I returned to the booth, and is tonight the night? Finally, he goes to victory lane. But he's been here before, so his best thing he can do right now is keep his head down. Just hit his marks. Unless some kind of weird iRacing thing happens, he doesn't have to worry about a yellow. Let's go back here because we're going to have a battle for third here in just a second. There's the 44 catching Bryson. Richard Midkiff's finally taking his car to pit road. He has had all kinds of issues. And Telder's. Are you still driving? Yeah, of course he is. Telder's texting and driving again. I want to see you do that, Telder, once passing somebody. Look who's behind me. Let me... Oh, no. I don't see anybody behind you, Telder. I know where this is going now as Telder brings this up. Let me remember this. There was a race a couple seasons ago that Telder was leading, and Sean Peachin was a lap car, and there was contact between the two. And I think this is where Telder and chat is referencing that race. Here's Sean Peachin behind Telder. Was it the speedway or was it the road course? Somebody, it was, or not the road, but the short track, right? When the short track, Lucas Oil or whatever it's called now, IRP. Alphen goes off again over here by the carousel. Loses even more time. Alphen has roasted those rears, Rooster, as he likes to say. I don't even want to know what is in Peachin's head right now. .6 seconds back to Brandon Alphen. It's 20 back to Bryson, 23 to Sainz. And 2:16, 2:17, which would be 4:34. So should be 2 laps to go this time by. Can everybody make it on fuel? That's the first question. The second question Is this Peachin's night? Bondo's gone off. This is... trying to see what this is. That Canada corner? Sure is. Yep, turn 12. Bondo with issues. Looks like he's not going to lose a position, though. He had such a huge gap. He might have lost 6, actually, to Cummings. Otherwise, though, going to fall back to 7th and only lose 1 spot, so not as bad of a penalty as it could have been. Telder lets Peachin go by. Bryson has gotten away from Sainz, about a 4-second separation. So the closest battle now, we got to go back here to the 9th position. Drift, who again has kept it on track all the laps. Running in the 9th position here, and he's got the 5 of Cam Ingram with fresher tires coming up to him. And Drift about threw it away right there. All right, so Peachin crosses the line. Should be 2 laps to go here. I would think next time by, going to get the white flag. But I've been wrong plenty of times. One thing that this league has always been good for is first-time winners, new winners, and not really, other than a couple of seasons, having dominant drivers go out there and just destroy the field. And tonight might be the night finally. As Sean comes to the carousel. Comes up to Canada corner, downshifting down to probably first gear here through the corners. We have seen, what, 3 first-time winners so far this season? Diego Sainz, Josh Gagnon, and Brandon Alfin have all gone to victory lane for the first time. We could be about to see the 4th one. As the white flag waves, final lap from Road America. 4 miles. Couple seasons ago, I bring it up again. He went to Indianapolis, won the pole, absolutely dominated the race, and it fell out of his hands. He has tried effortlessly, I can't even say the word, He's had his struggles, missed the playoffs a couple of times, finished second in the points a couple seasons ago in a truck series, and came ever so close to going to victory lane. As he works his way up to turn 6, clock's about to hit 0. He's got 14 seconds over Brandon Alphin, 23 back to Bryson. Through the carousel one final time. Works his way through the kink down to Canada corner. A young man who has done a lot of military stuff. Was actually born in Lafayette, Indiana, which is a town where I actually did some radio in. Now resides in Las Vegas. And races for Aced, a team that has been here from the start. And I'm going to have to go back and try to find some notes. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find these, but we are about to have a second first-time winner in a row. Both of them born in or living in Vegas, believe it or not. Peachin finally is a winner. Brandon Alphin going to be the best of the playoff drivers, finishing second. Big time points night for him. Bryson third. Diego Sainz, good finish in fourth. Stephen Miles is, well, he's over in Oshkosh right now still. Ah, Miles! Sean, you know, Sean better know the turn 5 tradition. Oh, come on. You're supposed to do donuts over there. So as I was starting to talk about there, came into this series around season 4, I think, or 3, somewhere early. Had his big time seasons, finished second in points one year. Had his struggles. And then stepped up, he and Tyler Brewer and Fontaine and a couple others took over this series. Thank you. And have carried this series on into the future. Okay. Here's kind of a weird stat that has just kind of come to my mind. Sean's the first driver with the name owner on his name to win a race in this series. Ikavachi never won. Sam never won. Brewer hasn't won. Sean Peachin. Interesting. So we'll talk to the top 3 drivers here first. We're going to let Sean burn it down. Dean, I don't know what that comment's supposed to mean, but okay. Somebody teach Sean how to do a burnout. Oh, Tripp's waiting on him. Yes, when all else fails, you just sit the car up against the wall and let it rip. That's the best way to do it. Hey, Mr. Cummings, good to see you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Had my little slip ups. Well, we did it. We did okay. Oh, I would not go there, Fronto. Come on now. All right, checking out the final results of the race. Peachin wins it by 13 seconds over Brandon Alphin. Alex Bryson third, Diego Sainz, Stephen Miles going to be fifth, with Cummings, Bondurant, Fontaine, and Cam Ingram finishing ninth. Drift gets himself a top 10. Joey Ladisor finishes 11th. Telder finishing 12th with Ingram, Dalton, and the rest of the cars behind the wall. Midkiff, Brewer, Pierce, and Gagnon finishing last after finishing first. Not many people have done that one in this league, so Josh making history on that front. Pun intended. All right, let's talk to some drivers here. See if I can remember how to do this in this league. Top three in the... We got a waiting room now. Look at this. Let's see. Alex Bryson finishing in the third position, much like old times. Alex and I chatting in the booth together after a top three finish here. Alex, man, nice job. Good job battling with Diego there, and a good third place finish and a good points night for you.
Thank you. Appreciate you bringing me into the booth. Glad to hear your voice again. But yeah, definitely chatting like old times. But yeah, Diego had me sweating there towards the end. After coming out from getting my pit stop, overshot one because I wasn't paying attention. Honestly, I was trying to take a drink of water.
That'll happen sometimes.
So,
well,
the wrong place at the wrong time to pick up a glass of water.
Yeah, no kidding. You always want to do that on a straightaway. Talk about the race, because, like, for me in the booth, it was kind of different because I'm trying to do math in my head of like figuring out who can make it where on what laps and gas strategy wise. How different's for you with it being a timed race and a lapped race?
Honestly, I just rely on my teammates for that kind of stuff because I'm no strategy guy. I mean, I work with numbers every day. You would think I'd be good with numbers, but I'm not. So Brandon and, Miles were talking back and forth when to pit. We were supposed to maybe pit one or two laps before. We had talked about it and just kind of stretched it out as far as we thought we could go, and just time management and everything. But yeah, we were close to running on fumes, that's for sure. But definitely a fun race overall. Just it's so mentally and physically challenging. I feel like there's just so many turns, and it's 4 miles long.
Right.
So it's just you just got to keep your head in the game and just buckle down and make sure you hit every shift correctly, breaking points, and hopefully you come out unscathed at the end. And luckily Laser Racing did tonight.
Well, you did a great job this evening, of course, finishing in the third position, leading a line of 4 Chevys in a row there, second through fifth, and a good points night for you. And send some shout outs whoever like to.
I got to thank you for the broadcast. I got to thank my wife, my kids, especially my wife, letting me take the time out of our busy lives to do this. I got to thank my teammates, Brandon Alphin, Stephen Miles, JW Miller, who wasn't here tonight. Got to thank Laser Racing, TI Racing. Just want to thank the good man above. Shout out to my dad. Hopefully he's watching. And yeah, that's all I got.
You did send him to the right channel, right?
What?
You did send him to the right channel, right?
Oh yeah, of course I did.
Okay, I was making sure because we can all make mistakes sometimes,
Shoot. Amen to that.
All right, man. Hey, nice job tonight, bud.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
You too, buddy. AB finishing there in P3. And good job on his part. And the old Rooster finishing in the second position. And there's one obvious question here I do want to know. When he crossed the start-finish line, Mr. Alphin there, I have to ask, was there Morgan Wallen playing in the background?
I wish there would have been. They would have made the last, after the pit stop, man, power steering went out about lap 22, so we were struggling. A little bit.
Struggle bus was out, so the Rooster was burning up those rears a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's what, like I said, lap 20, it was about lap 22, and I didn't have the heart to tell Peach, and I don't think I would have won the race, but I think it would have been closer. My wheel came off my desk.
Oh,
so
no.
I was pushing up the whole time, trying to keep it on, and if I would have turned too hard, that's why I kind of fell back a little bit, but I don't know if that really would have made a difference and stuff. So that's where I came up with old power steering went out. So now I know what Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch felt like back at Darlington.
I
Or
heard
Kurt
that.
Busch felt like, I should
Right,
say.
yeah. Kurt Ramp was the one that lost the power steering. Wow, well, still a great effort. And what is it about you and road courses, man? I mean, I know you don't get to run many, and I brought up your iRating, obviously the 383 you got there. That's more of a batting average you'd want in baseball.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody thinks I'm crazy because everybody tells me to get on with like the GT3 cars and actual road cars and all that stuff. But I only like doing NASCAR cars on road for whatever reason. I just kind of like how I feel like I'm able to feel. I mean, even though we're not really in a car, but just kind of what the car is doing. I have a
Right.
good feel for as far as going through the turns and kind of bending and kind of knowing how much I could gas it up and that kind of thing. But but road courses. I mean, I enjoy racing them. I probably should race more since you brought up too my 383 iRating. So I guess I'm gonna have to do something to get that going. But it's just I mean because it's fun too. Like I think I was having a conversation with JW one time when we raced at Montreal. But road courses are fun if you could run it with the right group of people. As far as it's totally different being behind somebody 2 seconds at a road course as opposed to a mile and a half where just one turn that can change quick and just kind of really getting your marks down. I mean, I think that's really the biggest thing. And if you're able to, whatever, just anything really, everybody's probably got different marks. Just kind of hit those and just, I guess I will say I watch a lot of Ricky Rudd foot pedals when he's at Sonoma on that stuff. So that's that helps out a little bit.
Well, it definitely worked out for you, man. P2 and the best of the class of the points guys tonight in the playoffs.
Yeah, we needed a good run. Peach and he was fast all night, and then Talladega last week kind of screwed us up. So hopefully, we can come up with something next week at the fairgrounds and try to make the Final Four.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations. Shout outs to whoever you'd like to.
I gotta give a shout out to you first and foremost for coming back. We're glad to have you back, and it's going to be exciting to go back and watch the captain back in the saddle again. So it's always a good time going back and watching that. And then I guess I got to shout out my sponsor, who is HBR. HBR.
It's okay.
HBR on the car. I don't know if he's watching or not, but I didn't know. I really kind of don't know what's going on with that. I just kind of ran it. But then also give a shout out, man, Bryson and Stephen Miles tonight. Man, we've had a really good year in points as far as just having really good finishes. And I mean, I think I've told you this before back when you were broadcasting the league is winning a team championship. I always want to win one of those. So, all of us finishing in the top 5 tonight, it was exciting. And so hopefully we keep it rolling.
Yeah, maybe the owner was holding you back. Who knows? But great job tonight, and congratulations on the top 2 finish.
All right. Appreciate it, Skyler.
Absolutely. That is Brandon Alphin with a top 2 finish here this evening. And, this might be the most interesting interview that we ever have on this network. But I think I'm going to give him I'm going to give him a new treatment. What do you think? We're going to have a little fun with this one. 10 people watching, and this is going to be good. So Sean Peachin's in the booth, but unfortunately we got to go, so talk soon. I'm kidding.
Makes sense.
Right?
Seems about how things go.
Cursed. Cursed, yes. So one thing that was not cursed was you tonight, man. Had everything go your way pretty much for the most part, and you become the second first-time winner in a row, the 4th on the season, 2nd straight that lives in Vegas, and 2nd straight for Ace, stole a lot of stats, and you're finally in victory lane after like a Michael Waltrip amount of starts.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So before we get into the celebration, this morning I found out that one of my buddies, Glenn, been good friends with him, go to rock shows with him and his wife, and I found out that his wife had passed away early, taken far too soon. And I told myself when I was walking out to my real car this morning, I said, I'm gonna win that damn race for him. and for her. And so first and foremost, this is for Glenn and Lisa. I'm glad that we were able to come out and win and put on the performance that we did for them. They deserve it.
Yeah, obviously, that anytime you have a friend like that, it gives you that inspiration to get out there and do your thing. And we talked about it. The road courses were your specialty, and you went out there, and at first it looked like it was going to be a good race for you to kind of drive away for it, and all of a sudden this Alphen kid popped up behind you.
Yeah, the irony behind that is I remember a few seasons ago, quite a few seasons ago to be honest, when Brandon had first come in the league and he was running a separate racing series and he had asked me for some advice on Road America, and I was like, and I'm thinking in the back of my head the whole race, I'm like, this dude is my carbon twin at this track. I was like, I gave him all of the trade secrets. And he absolutely was pressuring me to the max. Like I was sweating. I mean, you can ask Tyler and Gagnon. I was just like, how is he still catching me? I couldn't believe it. I was like, this dude is a machine. Especially after the first stint, we had a huge lead, and then he just started gashing that lead. And I told him after the stop, I was like, well, we should be good to go on gas. I was like, but I need to have a pretty good lead. I was like, because if he starts to reel me in at the end of the run like he did the first time, it's going to be trouble at the end of the race. And then there towards the end, we was about 3 seconds ahead of him, and it started to kind of level out a little bit, and then he started to push and it started to slide a little bit, and we started to pull away. And then obviously there were some lap cars that were out there, and just having to try to navigate those and not make a stupid mistake. I think all the things that I've tried to do to win races previous all came together in this moment and was what allowed us to bring it home this time in a pretty impressive fashion.
Yeah, as I say, dominated the race, got through all the pit stops, and I mean, I'm trying to think this through. I think you pretty much ran a flawless race. I don't remember really any big issues on your end. So, no, well done. How's it feel to get the pressure off your back finally?
It's it's not. It doesn't even feel like I honestly feel the same as I do before the race in the sense that like it still hasn't sunk in
Right.
that pressure is finally off. But at the same time, like I was absolutely screaming and fist bumping over the radio as we came down the straightaway because I finally knew that the curse was over. We held off a hell of a driver, two hella good drivers, and I couldn't believe it. So I think it'll be a couple days before it finally is like, hey buddy, you actually did it. Congrats, nice job. So
Nah, absolutely. So, hey, great job tonight, man. Send some shout outs whoever you like to.
yeah, absolutely. So obviously we already shouted out Glenn and them. I want to shout out you. Thank you for coming in and doing the race live. I really appreciate that. It just makes sense that the last time I was on TV, you were broadcasting. So it only makes sense to come out and do it again. So thank you so much for all you do and putting together one hell of a broadcast. It's awesome that you were able to step in and, look forward to, future casts of me being maybe in victory lane with those. Special shout out to the competitors, specifically Brandon and Alexander for putting together a great race. Diego as well for putting in a pretty solid quality lap there. And then finally, shout out to my boys at Ace. We did it 2 in a row. We took us a little bit to kind of get up to this point, but now we're churning out victories and look like a real race team, if only just. So shout out to Drift, who was out there at the end. Shout out to Josh, who, he had his misfortune, and then he was coaching me the whole time. Just keep your head down, entry, exit, hit your marks. And then also Tyler as well. Shout out for coming in and coaching me through and just kind of giving me the essay. So thanks so much to everybody. This means so much to me. It's awesome.
There you go. Well, nice job tonight, man. Congratulations. Go enjoy it. It's yours. And go celebrate.
We're gonna do it. Modelo's on the house in the Ace headquarters.
There you go. Nice, very nice. Sean Peachin goes to victory lane here tonight, and they're going to be celebrating there for a while down in that team. Lucas Strayer, went and joined them, and others. It's going to be a pretty popular win, I think, for the series. I know some like him, some maybe not so much of a fan of him, but obviously the man shows up every week, tries to win, does the best he can, and it's good to see those kind of wins happen, especially for someone here for the last 2 seasons is carried the series and stuff like that. So hell, I've even had my ups and downs with Sean, but you know, either way, what happens on the track or whatever, it's like, you know, it's always good to see somebody new in victory lane in that kind of thing. So that's kind of cool to see. All right, well, that was fun. I feel like I just like got started or something. But next week it will be a track that has slipped my mind again. Let me go pull up the Discord page. I had to. I'm so distracted now all of a sudden by things that yeah, it's playoff week number 3. Oh, by the way, there'll be one more race before they get to the championship at Homestead, and it will be from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. So good luck to, again, HBR for what they've done, obviously, throughout this season and even the previous seasons they've been on. Of course, they stepped in when I stepped out, and Steve's done a good job there, and a big shout out to him, and best of luck for him the rest of this season and into the future and stuff like that. So, yep, I'll just be sitting back and enjoying it and going from there. And always good to return back to some friends and obviously a lot of these guys I hang out with over in the tree house and, you know, get to talk to a good portion of these guys. So it's good to see a lot of them, talk to a lot of them and go from there. So one thing that darn sure hasn't changed is the old famous quote as we head out from Road America. This isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!